My girlfriend called me cheap and demanded I buy her an expensive keyboard. We're only 4.5 months in when a small thing turned into the whole picture. I knew her old Lenovo's keyboard was dead, so she used a little wireless one to get by. That morning, even the wireless died. We'd already planned for me to stay over after work, so I told her I'd swing by my place and grab a spare. I had a brand new Amazon Basics keyboard in the box. Nothing fancy, but it works. On my way, I thought about the risk of bringing my favorite board, the mechanical I use for everything. It has my macros, media keys, and a layout my hands know without looking. When I walked in, she was waiting by the table like she'd been stuck all day. I set the box in front of her. She peeled the tape, looked inside, and went quiet in a way that felt heavier than tired. I asked what was wrong. She said she thought I was bringing my nice one, the clicky board from my desk that I also carry to work. I'm a programmer, and that board is dialed to me. Macros, feel, muscle memory. I told her the spare would keep her going and I needed mine for work. She slid the box aside with 2 fingers like it might scratch the table. I plugged in the dongle, paired it, typed a few lines to show it worked, and offered to set up any shortcuts she needed. Something in her tone sounded off. Was I missing something obvious? She said the spare felt cheap, called it a $10 keyboard, and said if I valued her I'd lend the good one. Then she said if the roles were reversed, she'd give me the nice one. I said I hear you, but I rely on mine every day and switching would slow me down. I even said we could go to the store together and try some options when we had time. She didn't calm down. She said if I wouldn't lend it, I should have bought her a new one if I really cared. I offered a middle path. I could back up my profiles that night, and if I had time the next day, bring the nicer board over for a few hours so she could type some emails while I finished work on the spare. She shook her head and said that wasn't the point. The point was whether I would put her first without conditions. I said I do put her first in ways that actually help. Rides when her car wouldn't start, late runs to pick up medicine, fixing her Wi-Fi at midnight, but handing over my tool during a deadline week wasn't the same thing. She said I was keeping score. I said I was drawing a line so we didn't resent each other later. I wasn't ready for what she said next. She said I was being selfish. I told her I went out of my way to help, and the way she was talking felt entitled and unkind. She said I was making her feel small on purpose. I told her that wasn't true, and I just needed my tool to do my job. She started to cry and asked me to leave. I left the spare on her desk and headed home, more upset at what the fight showed than at any piece of plastic. At this point, I started wondering if I should walk away for good. I replayed the night on the train. I looked at my messages, saw the plan we made, and the part where I offered the spare. I typed a draft that said we should cool off and talk tomorrow. I didn't send it. The next day we were supposed to talk, but she texted asking to meet that night instead because she felt anxious about it. I said okay. My phone buzzed again. I didn't open it yet. I got to her place early. The hallway smelled like cleaner and takeout. She opened the door with that tight look people wear when they've already decided how the talk ends. Before I could sit, she said one of her coworkers had sent her my post about the fight. I'd kept it anonymous, no names, but I had mentioned her age, HR job, the dead keyboards, and that I code. It was enough for someone close to connect the dots. She said I'd aired our private mess and painted her in a bad light. She said I twisted it to get strangers on my side. I asked her to tell me what I'd lied about, any detail. She scanned through and couldn't point to one thing. I told her if she looked bad, it was because of what happened, not because I made up anything. I said I posted to get perspective. She asked if I was really considering ending things over a keyboard. I told her this wasn't about a keyboard. It was about how she treated me when I tried to help. She went quiet, arms folded, eyes sharp. I asked if something else was going on with her. Friends, family, work, anything that could have set this off. She snapped, asking if I was calling her crazy or unstable. I said no. I was trying to understand what changed. We talked in circles. I kept trying to get to the simple truth inside all the noise. She kept dodging it. I said we needed an adult conversation or we'd be done on this hill. 3 words from her made my stomach drop. You betrayed me. I told her I wanted one thing, an apology for how she treated me